Pac-Man is one of the most recognizable yet simplistic games in the world. All you do is move this hungry little yellow circle through a maze to collect all of the pellets available, while also being followed by Blinky, Inky, Pinky, and Clyde. 4 ghosts that are doing everything in their power to stop you. Just like Pong and the majority of the old Atari games, Pac-Man is pretty easy to replicate due to its simplicity. But what if someone took that system and modified it so it could go from an arcade game to a horror experience? Well, that has been done before, especially by indie game developers. So today, on Hotel Room 103, we are going over 5 Pac-Man inspired horror games. First, let's start with something basic. This is not necessarily a game, as it is a mod for an already existing game. Which game? Well, what other game than the highly popular and modded Minecraft? Ever since it was released in 2009, Minecraft has been manipulated and modded to feature new weapons, levels, ways to play, and of course, new monsters. One of these new monsters comes in the form of Namco's arcade mascot Pac-Man. Released in the Crazy Craft mod, this version of Pac-Man will move around eating the terrain, other mods, and basically anything it can find. The Pac-Man mod has a hunger system, where if it can't find other animals or people, he'll simply eat vegetation until he is full. Once full, he will fall asleep for a short amount of time, only to wake up and attempt to fill his stomach once more. Now we can finally get into the meat of this list, starting with the cannibalistic Pac War. Pac War is a game where you, the player, have to walk around a large spacious maze while avoiding razor-sharp toothed versions of the beloved yellow circle. Just like any other Pac-Man game, you must walk around collecting yellow dots while avoiding the enemies at all costs. Once a Pac-Man finds you, and we say a Pac-Man because there's more than one yellow devil in this game, they will proceed to chase you around until you either lose them or get eaten. The Pac-Men will release a threatening chomping noise while following you just to add more tension to this already frightening experience. We've seen loads of .exe games, especially around 2013, where they're at the highest point of popularity. Most of them have a heavy reliance on gore and jump scares, but this game is a bit different. Pacman.exe plays like the classic arcade titles, with the only exception being that the behavior of the ghosts have been altered and have also been renamed as well. Blinky, now named Screamy, will now chase the player at extreme speeds with one glance. Inky, or Blindy, will move around randomly on the map. Clyde, now known as Slendy, will teleport around the maze and sometimes even warp right in front of you, just like the infamous Slender Man. Pinky, now known as Old One, can follow Pac-Man around the map and can easily phase through walls. These new behaviors on their own completely change the way you play the game regularly. But, just like the original game, you have to deal with 4 ghosts, so you don't have to worry about being overwhelmed. Right? The last 3 games have only used the characters from the original titles, from Pac-Man to the Ghost, etc. If you were hoping for something a bit more original, then you're in luck. The first of the more Pac-Man inspired games comes in the form of Toy Box. Toy Box immediately throws you into the game, where you have to explore a dungeon-like maze, and collecting gems along the way. Your monster, or monsters, come in the form of large, metal, mechanical beasts with everlasting grins on their faces. These loud creatures will chase you much like the Pac-Men in Pac War. However, unlike those Pac-Men, these toys are much more relentless and are faster than those seen in the number 4 spot, despite the fact that they are a bit smaller. Be sure to use their snarls and growls to alert yourself of their presence, and don't get stuck in a dead end. The final section of this list will have to go to Dark Deception. Just like Toy Box, you'll be thrown right into the game to collect all of the gems inside the map. But instead of being in a dark, ominously lit dungeon, you are now inside what seems to be an abandoned hotel. You are also being followed by bloody, knife-wielding, wind-up monkeys. Be careful, because while you can hear the monkeys in the distance by their mechanical sounds, you won't be able to easily tell which corner they'll be hiding behind until it's too late. You know what they say, monkey see, monkey kill.